Look, fellas, if you're over 40 and you still masturbate the same way you did in your 20s, there's something you need to hear, and it might make you uncomfortable, because a lot of men come to me confused. Energy is lower, drive feels off, erections aren't as reliable, motivation's slipping, and they swear nothing major has changed. But there has been one quiet habit that slowly started working against them. No pain, no warning signs, just subtle losses that add up year after year. Most guys never connect the dots. They assume it's age, stress, bad luck. I'm Dr. Rosalia Viterbo. I'm a men's health specialist, and for years I've worked almost exclusively with men over 40 who want their energy back, their hormones working again, and their confidence both in life and in the bedroom where it used to be. These are guys who lift, who work hard, who try to eat right, and still feel like something is off. I don't do gimmicks, and I don't do shame. My job is to help you understand what's actually happening inside your body as you age, and show you what truly works in the real world, not just in theory. Everything I'm sharing here comes straight from clinical experience, real lab work, and real conversations with men who are exactly where you might be right now. Here's what I'm going to break down for you in this video. First, I'm going to explain why masturbation affects a 45-year-old body very differently than a 25-year-old body, even if your habits haven't changed. Then we'll talk about how this ties into testosterone, dopamine, energy levels, and sexual performance in ways most men never get told about. I'll also walk you through the biggest mistakes men over 40 make around this, and what actually works instead, if you want to feel sharper, stronger, and more in control again. And stay with me until the end, because I'm going to share one overlooked adjustment that I've seen make a massive difference for men who thought their best years were already behind them. Most men think masturbation is just masturbation, something you've done forever, something normal, something that doesn't really count as a health habit one way or the other. And when you're younger, that's mostly true. Your body is resilient. Your hormones rebound fast. Your brain chemistry resets quickly. You can stay up late, recover from stress, bounce back from poor sleep, and still feel pretty solid the next day. But here's the part nobody prepares you for. Your body does not age evenly. Around your late 30s and into your 40s, your hormone system starts playing by different rules. Testosterone production becomes more fragile. Dopamine, the motivation and reward chemical in your brain, doesn't spike and recover the same way. Cortisol, your stress hormone, stays elevated longer. Recovery slows down, and your nervous system becomes easier to overstimulate and harder to reset. Think of it like this. When you're younger, your hormonal system is like a brand new phone battery. You can drain it, recharge it, drain it again, and it still performs just fine. As you get older, that battery still works, but now how you use it matters. Drain it too often or in the wrong way, and suddenly you're walking around at 60%, wondering why you don't feel like yourself anymore. This is where masturbation quietly enters the picture, not as a moral issue, not as a character flaw, but as a physiological stressor when done the wrong way, too frequently, or paired with the wrong stimulus. Most men never connect the dots. They notice they're more tired, less driven, not as hungry for life. Erections aren't as strong. Recovery from workouts takes longer. Motivation dips, mood gets flatter, and they chalk it up to age, work stress, or just getting older. But aging doesn't mean decline by default. It means you have to play smarter. Another problem is that a lot of the information men get comes from extremes. On one side, you've got people saying masturbation is totally harmless, no matter what, no limits, no context. On the other side, you've got fear-based nonsense telling men it's destroying their masculinity. Neither one helps you. What actually matters is how your brain, hormones, and nervous system respond at this stage of life. By 40 plus, your body is much more sensitive to repeated dopamine spikes, overstimulation, poor recovery, and habits that quietly lower testosterone signaling. And masturbation, especially when it's frequent, rushed, stress-driven, or paired with high-intensity stimulation, can amplify those issues without you realizing it. This is why the problem sneaks up on men. Nothing feels wrong in the moment. There's no alarm bell, no immediate consequence, just a slow shift over months or years where you wake up one day and think, man, I don't feel as sharp, I don't feel as driven, I don't feel as confident as I used to. My goal here is not to scare you, it's to help you understand your body at this stage of life, so you can make adjustments that actually work with your biology instead of against it. First, your dopamine system doesn't recover like it used to. Here's the deal. Masturbation triggers a big dopamine release. Dopamine is the drive chemical, motivation, focus, hunger for life. When you're younger, your brain spikes dopamine and resets pretty fast. No problem. After 40, that reset button gets slower. So if you're masturbating frequently, especially out of boredom, stress, or habit, you're constantly draining that dopamine tank. The result isn't guilt, it's apathy. You don't feel as excited about goals, work feels heavier, gym motivation drops. Even sex can feel less urgent or less satisfying. Most men think, I must be depressed, or I'm just burned out. What's actually happening is neurochemical fatigue. What works instead is respecting dopamine like a limited resource. Less frequency, more intention, more recovery. When dopamine stabilizes, motivation comes back fast, sometimes in weeks. Second, testosterone signaling weakens with overstimulation. This one surprises a lot of guys. Masturbation itself doesn't magically destroy testosterone. That's not the issue. The issue is signaling. Frequent ejaculation, especially paired with intense visual stimulation, can reduce how responsive your brain and receptors are to testosterone. Think of testosterone like a key and the receptor like a lock. If the lock gets worn down, the same key doesn't work as well. That's why men tell me, my labs look okay, but I don't feel okay. They think testosterone is the gas pedal. It's not. It's the ignition system. What actually works is giving your nervous system time to resensitize. That's when libido feels stronger, erections feel firmer, and confidence feels more natural again. Third, stress-driven masturbation keeps cortisol high. A lot of men aren't masturbating out of pleasure anymore. They're doing it to shut their brain off. Long day, stress, pressure. You want relief. Here's the problem. When masturbation becomes a stress coping mechanism, your body associates sexual release with cortisol instead of relaxation. That keeps your nervous system stuck in fight or flight. High cortisol blocks testosterone. It wrecks sleep. It flattens mood. Most men think, at least it helps me relax. Short term? Sure. Long term? It keeps your system wired and tired. What works better is breaking that association. You want sexual activity to happen from a calm, regulated nervous system, not as an escape hatch. Fourth, erections become less responsive over time. Let's talk straight. Men over 40 often notice erections aren't as automatic. That's not weakness, it's conditioning. Fast, high-stimulation masturbation trains your brain to respond to novelty and intensity, not connection or gradual arousal. Over time, real-life stimulation feels muted by comparison. So guys think, I'm losing my edge. No, you've trained your brain away from sensitivity. The fix isn't pills, it's rewiring, slowing things down, letting arousal build naturally again. When that happens, erectile function often improves without medication. Fifth, energy drain shows up outside the bedroom. This is the sneaky one. Men don't connect masturbation habits to workouts, work performance, or mental sharpness, but they're connected. Every ejaculation is a neurological and hormonal event. Recovery matters more as you age. Too frequent, too rushed, too overstimulating, and suddenly you're dragging through workouts, crashing in the afternoon, and wondering why discipline feels harder. Most men try to push harder. What actually works is conserving energy so your body can reinvest it into strength, focus, and resilience. Sixth, intention matters more than abstinence. This is important, so hear me clearly. I'm not telling you to quit forever. I'm telling you to be intentional. Mindless, habitual masturbation drains men over 40. Intentional, controlled sexual expression supports vitality. Big difference. Ask yourself, is this driven by stress, boredom, or impulse, or by choice? Men who clean this up don't just feel better sexually, they feel more grounded, more confident, more in control of their life again. Mike was 52, married, 2 kids, solid career. He worked out 3 to 4 days a week, didn't smoke, drank socially, and on paper he was doing everything right. But when he came to see me, he said something I hear all the time. He said, "Doc, I don't feel like myself anymore. I'm tired, my drive is off, sex feels different, and I don't know why." His labs were interesting. Testosterone was technically in range, but on the lower side of optimal for his age. Cortisol was elevated, sleep was fragmented. Dopamine-related symptoms were obvious: low motivation, brain fog, that flat, blah feeling. When we talked about lifestyle, he mentioned masturbation almost as an afterthought. A few times a week, usually late at night, usually after stressful days, always fast, always with high stimulation content. He didn't think it mattered. That was the missing piece. I didn't tell Mike to stop forever. I told him to pause, reset, and change the pattern. We focused on better sleep timing, reducing late-night stimulation, cutting stress-based masturbation, and rebuilding sexual response more intentionally. We paired that with nutrition support, resistance training tweaks, and nervous system recovery. Within about 6 weeks, things shifted. His energy improved first. Then his morning erections came back. His workouts felt stronger. His mood lifted. Libido didn't just return. It felt more controlled, more confident, more natural. The biggest thing he said to me was this: "I didn't realize how much that habit was draining me until I stopped doing it the same way." That's the lesson here. Most men aren't broken. They're just running old habits on a new body. And once you adjust for where you are now, not where you were at 25, everything starts working better again. Myth number 1. Masturbation has no effect on hormones. This myth exists because people look at hormones in isolation. They'll say, testosterone doesn't crash immediately after ejaculation, so it doesn't matter. That's an oversimplification. Hormones don't work like light switches. They work like signals. Frequency, recovery, nervous system state, and stimulation intensity all affect how those signals are received. In men over 40, repeated overstimulation blunts responsiveness over time, even if blood levels look fine. The harm isn't instant, it's cumulative. The truth is, how often and how you masturbate matters far more than whether you do it at all. Myth number 2. If erections are weaker, you just need pills. This one is everywhere. Pills can help blood flow, sure, but blood flow is not the whole story. Erections start in the brain. If your brain is desensitized, overstimulated, or stressed, the signal is weak before blood ever enters the picture. Men end up dependent on medication without fixing the root cause. The truth is, many erection issues in men over 40 are neurological and behavioral before they are vascular. Fix the conditioning, and function often improves naturally. Myth number 3. Quitting completely is the only solution. This myth scares men and pushes them into extremes. Total abstinence isn't necessary for most guys, and for some it actually increases stress and obsession, which backfires hormonally. The goal isn't repression, it's regulation. When masturbation becomes intentional, infrequent, and disconnected from stress and overstimulation, it stops being a drain and starts being neutral or even supportive. The real danger isn't sexual release, it's unconscious habits running your biology without your permission. Once men understand that, they stop feeling confused and start feeling in control again. First, after 40, your brain and hormones don't recover the same way they did when you were younger, so habits that used to feel harmless can start draining your energy and drive. Second, frequent or overstimulating masturbation can blunt dopamine and testosterone signaling, which shows up as low motivation, weaker libido, and less confidence. Third, using masturbation as a stress release keeps cortisol high and your nervous system stuck in overdrive. Fourth, fast, high-intensity stimulation can desensitize your arousal system, making erections less responsive in real life. Fifth, all of this spills over into your energy, workouts, focus, and mood, not just your sex life. And finally, the solution isn't fear or total abstinence. It's intention, recovery, and aligning your habits with the body you have now, not the one you had at 25. If this video hit home for you, do me a favor and hit the like button. It tells the algorithm to show this to more men who need to hear it. And if you're a guy over 40 who wants clear, honest guidance on hormones, energy, and sexual performance without the nonsense, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I put out content like this every week. I also want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me your age and the one thing you've noticed has changed the most: energy, motivation, libido, erections, or recovery. I read those comments and they help shape future videos. And if you're ready to take this deeper, I've got a free guide linked in the description that walks you through the foundational steps to optimize testosterone, energy, and sexual health after 40. No fluff, just what actually works. Grab it, review it, and start making changes today. If this video resonated with you, take 2 seconds and hit the like button. It helps this message reach more men over 40 who are quietly dealing with the same issues and don't know where to turn. And if you want straightforward, no-nonsense guidance on hormones, energy, sexual performance, and long-term health as a man, make sure you subscribe to the channel. That's exactly what we focus on here. I also want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me your age and what you've noticed changed the most lately. Energy, motivation, libido, erections, recovery, or focus. I read those comments and they help me tailor future videos to what you actually need. And if you're ready to take the next step, check the description for my free guide for men over 40. It lays out the core principles to support testosterone, vitality, and sexual health the right way. Download it, go through it, and start putting this information to work. Remember, you're not alone in this, and you're definitely not broken. These changes are normal, but they don't have to control your life. Small, intentional adjustments can make a massive difference in energy, confidence, and sexual health. I'm Dr. Rosalia Viterbo. Stay strong, take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.